Hey folks, it's Sam, and I'm making this quick recording here on Friday, December 29th at 2 p.m., 1:59 p.m., talking about Venus and Mercury now in Scorpio. As you can see, this is a shift that's happening. We'll have Mercury there until January 7th, and then Venus until January 18th. And so Mercury is going to be hanging out at this what's called Gandanta point, these last degrees of Scorpio, in between Scorpio and Sagittarius, this tricky point of the zodiac. And Venus will be also going through Scorpio until, again, January 18th. So this is not the best sign for either one of these energies. Of course, the planetary energies are forces within our mind and consciousness. Mercury is about speech, communication, accuracy, communicating the truth, not just what we think we should say in order to get what we want and all of that. There's so much bad communication in the world. We're so used to poor communication that we don't even really understand it often. But so Mercury is about being clear and honest and truthful about what we say. And Venus is about the good feeling that happens when we exchange energy with others and we understand our own values, and we're willing to then make agreements and compromises with others in ways that feel good to us. So when we're able to do that well, then we enjoy our agreements and compromises with others. When we're not, then we enter into an agreement where we don't understand ourselves and our own values very well. So we compromise too much, and then we get angry at the other person and we fight. And again, we get into this uncomfortable exchange of energy where we feel mistreated, disrespected, and whatnot. So in Scorpio, as it says here, and you see this is my Instagram channel here at Vedic Astrology 108. If you're watching and you're an Instagram fan, you can follow me there. As it says here, Scorpio is sensitive and driven to protect their inner life and reflect on what makes them emotionally strong. It's about emotional vulnerability and strength, strengthening our emotional vulnerabilities, ruled by Mars. So Mercury is about communication, and Venus is about how happy we are with our agreements with others. So again, when we're communicating in order to speak truthfully, first, that means that we've understood what we're thinking and we got the story straight in our head. Again, this is all Mercury stuff. When we're clear about what we're thinking and what our story is and what the motivation is, then we can speak it clearly. But if we're already confused about it, and instead we're kind of we're already sort of irritated or aggravated or feeling triggered or feeling vulnerable or whatnot, then the story is already going to be distorted, and we're going to say things that are in service of, like, perhaps that sinister motive or something. And instead of speaking the truth, we're going to speak things that will protect our vulnerabilities. Now, again, that's a whole different motivation than the truth. Because if I speak the truth, you might not like the truth, and I might not get what I want. That's the important part, or one of the most important parts with Mercury and Scorpio, is I might not protect my vulnerability. And if I say what I really think, maybe it'll expose something, and I don't want to expose that, or I won't get what I want, and I have to be careful to, try to get what I want from situations. So I'm going to say, okay, well, I have to say this in order to get this, because if I say this, that might not work. And again, we get into all this kind of stuff, and before you know it, we're not speaking clearly. Frankly, we're not telling the truth, and others will notice. And so again, this is why Mercury and Scorpio can have this problem of not speaking clearly and truthfully, but instead being strategic and kind of hidden. Again, the water signs in general they're motivated by feeling and emotion, not by ideas, discrimination, even like where we're going. They're motivated to, again, feel good. And feel good usually means feel like what I want. What I want is this. So I have to say what I need to say to get what I want, which is what's going to make me feel good. So again, this motivation is not so conducive for the Mercury part of us that wants to be respected for what we say, that wants to communicate in a way that others appreciate. So when we don't speak well and we're in this kind of motivation, what happens is others don't appreciate what we say. They might lose respect for what we say, and they might not want to talk to us anymore. So again, watch this tendency with Mercury retrograde back in Scorpio at this vulnerable position where we can be triggered and whatnot. And then Venus, as it says, Venus is about how happy we are with our agreements and others. Like I already said, Venus is about first knowing what we really want. What are my desires? What do I want in this agreement with another person? And what am I willing to give up in order to get it? And is it too much? Is it too far? Are my desires to have the thing greater than my willingness to perhaps break connection in order to not get the thing? And what am I willing to do in order to have the thing I want? And am I going to resent myself and regret what I did later and then blame the other person for my agreement and things like that? So this is why in Scorpio, it can also be a little bit skewed because, again, Scorpio is this emotion, this emotional passion. As it says down here, Scorpio favors emotional passion, verging on provocation and drama. Again, it's ruled by Mars, so it's also about, again, passion verging on provocation and drama, like where we're also provoking and wanting to feel the intensity of emotion. Intense and confrontational thoughts and communication and agreements with others can be happening right now, where we might have agreements with others, but now that Venus is in Scorpio, it's like, well, am I being mistreated? Am I being, is this fair? Let me see. What if I do this? And so we might even provoke a little bit of intensity and drama because that's what Scorpio is. Again, Venus just came from Libra, where we're trying to be in that balance with another person. It goes into Scorpio, where we now feel vulnerable, for example, about the agreements or whatever. And the way to sort of test the vulnerability is to kind of provoke a little bit and see what happens. So again, it's very passionate. So we might get much more passionate, but then realize how vulnerable we are in our passionate, expression. So again, this is how Venus and Scorpio can be. And we always have to be careful because it's not a very balanced, quote, sign for Venus. It's very easy when Venus is in Scorpio, for example, for people to have their passions way ahead of their agreements and then feel victimized by those who maybe even have their agreements more in line with passions, right? Or again, there's always this tendency in Scorpio to feel victimized by whatever the situation winds up happening, feeling like you did this to me, that you did it to me, and then to act out of vengeance to avenge that feeling. So again, as it says here, watch out for you or others suddenly feeling disrespected and the desire to avenge that injustice. So again, this Venus in Scorpio can have that MO as well. So again, these are a few things to be careful of, to be watchful of as we move into the end of the year. And, I've been talking about this 2024 forecast that is available to everyone. You should really check it out. The 11 most important shifts. Don't be blindsided by the eclipses, retrogrades, and shifts. These, again, it's a free download. You can download the PDF report and also get a video, and it's at 2024 vedicastrology.com, as you see under my name here. I definitely recommend that. But again, going into the new year, we have this Mercury and Venus in Scorpio that's going to go into 2024. Again, Mercury until January 7th and Venus until January 18th. So I just wanted to make this quick update and hope you have a great rest of this year. Go to 2024 vedicastrology.com to download the 11 most important shifts in 2024. Don't be blindsided by the upcoming eclipses, retrogrades. You can get the free forecast, which is both the PDF download as well as the free video report. And again, this free report will allow you to discover important shifts for your sign, how to align with higher wisdom and purpose and hope in 2024 as Jupiter shifts and moves into Taurus. Also, different placements such as exalted Mars at the beginning of the year, debilitated Mars at the end of the year, the big 1-2 punch at the beginning of this year, when and how communication problems will be occurring throughout the year with the Mercury retrograde cycles, all kinds of other things that you want to understand. This is a free PDF download and then also a free web class. So go ahead. For a limited time, I'm offering 10 hours of masterclasses, Yoga and Vedic Astrology, Quantum Vedic Astrology, and Spiritual Astrology Masterclass. These are 3 great courses that will really help you a lot. Now, in case you don't know who I am, I taught the Astroved certification course, Dattatreya Shiva Baba, in 2010. Ravi Shankar published my book in 2018. I've been around for decades. I've been teaching these great classes, and if you go to VedicAstrologyEssentials.com, you can get this 90% off discount of these 3 great classes, more than 10 hours, guaranteed value. You can check this out. These 3 classes will give you all the necessary tools to begin to learn Vedic astrology. Please find me on YouTube at Sam Jeppy, Vedic Astrology Teacher. On there since 2007, thousands of hours of classes. Also on Facebook at Astrology Teacher, tons of articles updated regularly, and I'm on Instagram at Vedic Astrology 108, ongoing updates and interaction.